Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to your Game Week 4 Q&A, part 1 of the international break. Hope you're all enjoying yourselves as much as this 6.6 million ranked manager and this 8.6 million ranked manager are. We managed 2 red arrows, Sam. I was at 5 million. You were at 7 million. And we both managed to red. It has not been a great start to the season, has it?
As I can't honestly tell you how bad it's been, like genuinely. The worst thing about this is that game week 1 was good. Like I had a good start.
Yeah, same.
Game week 1 for me, I was like, oh my God, I never have a good game week 1. I've got a good game week 1. This is going to be really good. And then game week 2 was awful. And like we said last week, at least it can't get any worse. Like that, it can't possibly get any. Oh no, here came game week 3 to kick us up the bum again. Like genuinely awful.
It could have been even worse if you hadn't brought Pedro in. That was quite a good move. I noticed you did this week.
Although the bringing Pedro in was the reason why I benched Dewsbury Hall.
Sure.
Because
good. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
So it swung on roundabouts really. Because had I left it alone, I'd have had Dewsbury Hall playing, and then I'd have had I don't know whose points would have come. Probably 2 from Ronaldo or something would have come off the bench. So actually, I probably would have been better off if I just did nothing.
No, I'm really glad though to have you on the stream. I mean, I always am. Don't get me wrong, but even more so this week because we both went quite left field this week.
Yeah.
Obviously, everyone and their dogs bought Bruno Fernandes, which we avoided. We didn't go for any Man U players. You went for a Kudus captain, and you bought in Gibbs White. I bought in Gibbs White, captained him, and Elanga, and all 3 of those players could not have done any worse. And then we had to watch Bruno Fernandes, who was obviously the best pick, score a 97th minute penalty and obliterate us.
And I had to be in the room with Lee when Juve came off his bench for an assist.
Oh, I mean, that is just absolutely ridiculous.
That wiped out my double Nottingham Forest clean sheet.
Yeah, that is just absolutely ridiculous. To get Juve off the bench is so unfair.
Life this weekend was not fun, and I'd gone on Sky Sports on Saturday morning and been like talked about all these players, and I was really positive. I was like, right, come on now, can't get any worse. Oh my God. And it just went from worst. It was just one of those things. And the whole weekend Lee had been like triggering me because he kept saying to me, oh, don't worry, Dewsbury Hall's definitely going to come off your bench, don't worry, he'll definitely come off your bench.
Didn't.
And then he got Juve off his bench, and I was like, oh, please. And the thing is, I knew that Bruno Fernandes was a good pick for this week, but I couldn't get João Pedro and Bruno without selling Watkins rather than Guiu, and I wanted to get rid of Guiu rather than Watkins. I thought I'd give Watkins one more week. Surely he can't get any worse, I thought. Oh, it was so wrong on so many fronts.
I know. I was really annoyed with myself because I had completely ruled out Bruno, but when we did the Q&A, I was talking about Mbumo. And then he didn't go there, 10 points. And Elanga benched against Leeds.
What was that about?
Oh, play some stupid 5 at the back system to stifle a newly promoted team.
I know.
So now we've got problems because now we've both got Gibbs White away at Arsenal this week. We've both got double Forest defence as well. So it's
I don't want any of these players, but I don't want a wild card either.
No, me neither. So
here we are.
Tune in 2 weeks' time where we might even... Next week will be nice because at least we won't have gone down even more in rank. It'll be the week after that where it might have happened.
Maybe we could just ask... We don't have our ranks displayed for a little bit.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, we could do that. It feels a bit pathetic though, isn't it?
Or do we just embrace the chaos, I think?
I think we've got to embrace it. We've always had these ranks, high or low, and mostly low. We've had these ranks on the screen over the last few years.
Oh, the good thing is that, one good week and we will jump up by like 3 million.
There is not many points separating. Like, I mean, I didn't just have a quick look quickly. So I'm looking a quick.
How much is there between you and I? Because there's 2 million places, but how many points?
So I'm on 139 and you're on
17, 17. Something like that.
17 points?
No, like 117 or something, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's probably about 20 points between us.
So 20 points is 2 million places. So you have a decent week and the jump is going to be real.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you exactly how many it is. You're on 119. Yeah, you're exactly 20 points behind me.
There you go.
So let's see if we call it 20-point blocks to move up. I mean, I've got to catch up 20 points. I'm only 4
million.
So
we've got to get 40 points this week to move up 4 million.
Oh, I hate this game.
But it's going to be fine, it's all going to work out.
Anyway,
And most people have used loads of people have used chips. You haven't used any chips. I haven't used any chips. We've got
the trouble is all the people that have used chips use them really successfully. Like the free hits have gone really well.
It's going to be like us again with blooming triple captain Haaland for a 1 goal against Southampton, isn't it?
God, yeah.
I can't have that again.
Anyway, this Q&A is not about us. So if you want to get your questions into these broken FPL managers after game week 3, please do let us know. Hi to everyone who's joining us in the chat. Hi to James C, one of our regulars. Nice ranks, guys. Thank you. Delia's in the chat. Hello, darlings.
Hello.
How are you getting on, Delia? I think Delia's on the right side of the season. Niraj says hi. British 87. I'm at 2 million and complaining. Yeah, you can't complain about 2 million on
You'll
this
be
stream.
booted out of this stream.
Jack Bennett says, hope you're feeling better after your vomiting episode on FPL Family the other day.
Oh my goodness. I don't think, honestly, I don't think I've ever been that sick. I just was like, I sat there and I thought, I'm going to throw up. And there was 2 options. It was either tell Lee I've got to leave right now.
Yep.
And then run, or just hope it passes. And I thought, I can't risk that. Can you imagine being sick on a live stream, like live in play? I get memed for life.
Yeah, I know. The vomit coming out would like be captured and used in so many different contexts. Like Ilanga bench.
Right? Yeah.
I can see it. Absolutely see it.
So I ran. And then but I was so poorly I couldn't come back.
Oh no. Lee had to do it on his own.
Himself, yeah.
Oh God.
It was a challenge.
Yeah.
It was weird. But no, I'm all right now. Don't know. It was like definitely like it was like 12 hours of feeling really ropey and then fine.
Was it food? Like food related?
Couldn't tell you because I ate exactly the same as everyone else in the house and no one else had a problem.
Bizarre. How
weird.
Bizarre.
I think I am very stressed and very run down at the minute, so it might just be that. But
and the 8.6 million rank probably doesn't help in all that.
Yeah, it was talking positively about Liverpool as well. That was when it happened.
And Spurs losing 2-0 to Bournemouth. No, 1-0.
No, 1-0. Don't make it worse than it was. It was only 1.
Double it. Kudos captain. I saw that and was like, that's fun. And then it wasn't fun. I was like, that's S word. That's rubbish. You try and be a bit different.
I was like, I've got to try and make up millions of places.
I know.
So let's go a bit different. But
yeah.
Never mind.
I know. We're overthinking it, I think, at this stage. But that's us. Dave M says, how's the move going as? Bookshelf looking rather empty. Yep, there's a box of books just below me. We're moving on Tuesday, so not long.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Not long to go. Danish says, Harvey Elliott or Dewsbury Hall?
Do you remember when I spent the whole week last week talking about how much I hate Dewsbury Hall? Oh, hi, Els. Hi, Els.
Hi, Els. That was not subtle.
Just a little hand. It was like appearing in the background.
She tried to do it so smoothly.
So Dewsbury Hall's infuriated me for 2 weeks. I benched him. He got a haul. Typical. I'm actually really interested in Harvey Elliott because the fixtures are nice for Aston Villa, and I think he could do really well there. He's kind of exactly what they need. He's 5.4 now because took a price drop.
Yep.
So I'm sort of here for that. That's something. If I was wildcarding, I'd have Harvey Elliott on a wildcard.
I would as well. I would as well. I guess the Dewsbury Hall's got the other issue, right? There's so many players now that could potentially. I mean, Dibbling, where does he fit in? Does that move Grealish to the 10? You know, but does it push Dewsbury Hall back into a?
And I know that Dewsbury Hall got a big haul this week, but he hadn't been doing anything like that in games 1 or 2.
I'd go Elliott.
I would. Okay. Oh, this is weird.
Yeah,
we've agreed.
Everyone's just like Dewsbury Hall, tick, get him in. Sandra, I like this triple captain on Salah.
It's Burnley. I don't like it.
No?
I don't. Oh, I'm going to say something really contentious here. I wouldn't trust Salah with it.
No?
At the minute.
You're eyeing up Haaland?
I just think that the way that Liverpool are playing and the way that he is playing in that new system with these new players, it's not really until the 90th, 85th maybe minute, or whenever Ekatike and Verts and the new boys will go off, that we start to see glimpses of the old Salah. Like last week, he had 1 shot and an XG of 0.05. Like that's ridiculous from Salah. And that only happens when the others have gone off the pitch. And so my issue is somewhat that, yes, it's Burnley. Yes, on paper, it's a great fixture. And if you said to me, would you triple captain Ekatike against Burnley? I'd be inclined to say yes, because I think he starts that game over Isak. But I just wouldn't give it to Salah right now because he's not involved in the games.
I think not having Frimpong hurts because I know obviously Salah got the goal when Frimpong was off the pitch, but having that player who's bombing down the right and allowing Salah to tuck in and get closer to penalty area, that's quite big. Whereas Szoboszlai isn't going to do that. Like Szoboszlai's fair play to him, playing on right back, completely unfamiliar position, scores the winner against Arsenal and looks really good. But I don't think that helps Salah's potential output. If Salah blanks against Burnley though, that's really bad. Like that's a disastrous pick if he doesn't get anything against Burnley. You've got to think he gets something against Burnley.
Realistically, how much do you think he gets?
Well,
based on his involvement in game weeks 1, 2, and 3 in that team and the way that he's playing.
If we're saying that Salah can't get 2 goal involvements against Burnley, he's a sell like immediately afterwards.
I don't disagree.
I mean, the only thing that might keep him safe is the fact Haaland plays Arsenal, because I'm looking at game week 6 and looking to take Salah straight out, which is exactly what Luke the Lucky says. Salah has gone from a game week 6 for Haaland. We'll consider Haaland triple captain that week. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Of doing. But I would still expect Salah to get a double digit against Burnley. Because if we're ruling that out and saying that it's less likely he's going to do that than not, then he's a bad pick.
So I agree with you. We should be able to say that Salah will double digit against Burnley. But I don't think he will in the way that the Liverpool team is playing. And that's not a slight on Salah. It's just the way that Liverpool playing is different. And he's not getting the expected goal involvements. He's not as involved in the game. It's only when towards the back end of the game when those players go off. Now, you could argue, I guess, against Burnley that maybe as Burnley tire, they're probably already behind. They probably give up a little bit at that stage, and maybe Salah then gets a couple at the end. But I would put more faith in it being the likes of Gakpo and Ekitike that do something against Burnley. Now, I think both of them, there'll be obviously a change up in the system, because I would expect if Isak plays over international break that we get a first glimpse of Isak for 20 minutes or so at the end of that game. Ekitike off for him. And then we'll see how that system pans out with Salah and Isak together. But right now, I wouldn't trust him with the captaincy.
I'm more optimistic. I think it's been 3 weeks. We haven't seen much from him.
Triple captain, though. Triple captain.
Is there enough
captain in him?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I'm probably going to captain him this week. Is Burnley. But I would not trust the captain's armband, triple captain's armband right now, based on how he's been playing.
Question for you: if you were wildcarding this week, would you have Salah in it?
No.
That says a lot, doesn't it? From where we were in game week 1 after just 3 weeks. I mean, we have someone who's gone very, very early on Isak in the chat, who says this is from Goodmander, who says just did Watkins to Isak captain against Burnley. Madness. Surely he doesn't start. He's had absolutely no minutes at all.
And he's going to come back from international. Gone away on international duty. He's going to arrive back Wednesday, Thursday.
No training with the teammates.
No training with the team.
No pre-season.
Correct. I think he will get minutes against Burnley, but I would be surprised if it's more than 30.
Yeah.
I think we get a first start out of him in probably game week 6.
Yeah, I agree. Nikolai says no chance Isak starts. You've done the move, fine. Don't captain him. If Isak gets some points against Burnley off the bench, then you're laughing. But I wouldn't captain him. I think there's better options. Although trusting us for captains at the moment is is interesting. Heather says your hair's fab. Your hair is looking very fun today.
Thanks. I feel like
it's quite like Scandinavian.
Yeah, maybe I'm channeling my inner
Haaland.
Pippi Long. What was her name? Pippi Longstocking. What was that? What's that book character?
Pippi Longstockings. Is that
something like that? Something like that. Someone will know. Someone will know what I'm on about. Yeah, I'm going to the gym after this, so I thought I'd get it ready to go. So here we are.
I went this morning at 6. Got home. Got back into bed. Got back at like 7:30. Got back into bed. I was just gonna have another half hour. Woke up, just was lying there. 10 minutes later, Yelena turns to me, goes, didn't fancy the gym this morning then? And I was like, bloody bean. What do you think I've been like?
I'm back.
Gym? And she was like, oh. And then, yeah, that was it.
No, I'm going straight after this.
Pippi Longstocking, a few people are saying.
Pippi.
Lots of people are saying Pippi Longstockings. I've never in my life heard of Pippi Longstockings.
Yeah, so, book character.
Book character. Okay, cool. Ekatike, what do we think of him? A few people mentioning him. I hope Isak doesn't start, says British 87. Someone else said they were captaining Ekatike this week.
I think that's fine, captaining Ekatike this week. And I think that moving forward, it'll be really interesting to see what he does. So I did some research for the pod about, where he might play. And obviously Isak can go out on, Ekatike could go out on the left. So we could play both of them together. And that would change up the system. And maybe they need to learn how to do that a little bit, given that Salah's going to go away on AFCON as well at Christmas. So there's going to obviously be that factor that they're going to have to play without him anyway. I think if I had Ekatike for this week and next week, I'd feel okay. After that, I think he'd be a sell because there's so many possible outcomes here. Maybe it's Gakpo that misses out and Ekatike goes left. Maybe there's shared minutes around that left-hand position. Maybe there's shared minutes around the Isak up front position. I think there's so much that could possibly be changeable in that Liverpool team that it's almost feels a little bit like we're dealing with Manchester City rather than Liverpool, because at Liverpool that front three has been so solid, hasn't it, for years? It was Salah, Mane, Firmino in the past, and then even last season with Diaz and Jota when fit, it was like them and Salah, and it felt like you could be fairly reliant that they were going to get the nod. Whereas this year, now with all these additional signings, it feels really tough to know who's going to get the start.
I feel really sorry for Ekatike because I think he's come in and he's been absolutely superb, and now
brilliant.
He's going to be fighting it out with Gakpo and Isak, and he's not first choice. I don't think he's not the first choice number 9. That's going to be Isak, and I don't think he's a first choice left winger because I think Gakpo is more natural on that side, and Ekatike can play both of those positions, but it's going to be a shared system around both. But if you were picking the strongest Liverpool team, would you put Ekatike in either of those two positions? I'm not sure you would.
No.
So he's a problem, definitely a problem for people, which is a shame because I think he could be.
He's not a problem
amazing
for Burnley though. I don't think. I think
no,
he's good
it's
for
not.
Burnley.
Burnley stays as a thing. I mean, what about Wirtz? I mean, he's been awful. He looked marginally better in the second half against Arsenal.
Awful from an FPL perspective, but I don't think awful from a Liverpool perspective.
No, I'm talking from an FPL perspective. I'm not worried about his minutes. I am worried about his ability to actually get points.
See, I actually think that Isak starting up top will be good for him. Because I think the way that he plays, having that big target man will actually be a positive thing for him. I'm going to hold for now. I don't too many other problems and Wirtz is not one. So I'll hold for Burnley, and then after Burnley, that'll be the time to assess.
Well, my thoughts on it are, if you look at the 3 games they've had Bournemouth, Newcastle, Arsenal. That is a really, really tough 3 games. Newcastle and Bournemouth pressed like absolute maniacs
Monsters,
and made things really, really difficult. Arsenal, one of the best defences in the league, and that game was basically a 0-0, wasn't it? They just had an outrageously good goal from Szoboszlai. Both teams were happy with a 0-0 in that. The big test for these Liverpool players is the next 2 games, Burnley and Everton, because Everton are going to low block. They're going to have so much time and space against Everton. Well, maybe not space. They're going to have time and possession, and the ability for all of these creative players to get something is much higher. And against Burnley, the amount of money they've spent, they should be beating Burnley 4-5-0.
100%. I mean, Spurs beating 3-0. So
I think you've got to keep it. If you've got him, you don't sell him. You keep him for these 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that's why I like the game week 6, game week 7 wildcard, because it just lets you deal with these problems. It's the same with Watkins, right? A lot of people asking about Villa and Rodgers and players like that. It's like the games have been fairly tough, and you're going to sell him now ahead of their best run. I mean, it's okay. Brentford was a problem because we expected him to get something like that, but Newcastle, Palace, 2 very, very good teams. Everton, Sunderland, Fulham, Burnley over the next 4. He's got to get some goals in that. Surely, it's a great run. They're top of the fixture ticker, and I know they've been poor, but they've signed some new attackers now. They look a bit more depth. I just wouldn't be selling him. If I was wildcarding, I'm not sure I'd have Watkins, but I wouldn't be selling him.
No, but I'm with you. That's why I'm not wildcarding at the minute, because I look at my team and go, well, apart from the Forest boys, actually it looks all right. So just see it out.
Yeah, that's what I think. Farimi says, who's on pens for Newcastle? We think Cher, right? Unless Voldemort comes in.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to know with those guys, isn't it? Because Vista never took them at Brentford, really, because Bombs was always there. So wouldn't expect it to be him. Voldemort might take them. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But Shah has got a history of taking them, so I would I expect it to be him.
What pick? If they get a penalty and he steps up, that's going to be very interesting. Yeah, I mean, it will be Gordon when he's fit, when he's back in the team.
Yeah,
providing he gets his place back. If Barnes looks all right next 2 games, or maybe he'll just bench the lot of them. So who knows with him anymore? Voldemort. Well, I can't help but call him Voldemort. It's too similar. It's too similar, the names. Sim asks his thoughts on Mateta captaincy, home to Sunderland.
That is my other option because I do have him.
You do love Mateta.
I do. And he was one of the only players that actually did do something for me in game week 3.
Booked for kicking the corner flag. No, he must have been raging at that.
When's that been a booking, by the way? Since when? SC players do that all the time and I've never known them get booked
ridiculous.
for that.
They really want to suck the joy out of football these days, don't they? Bloody hell.
And out of me. Like, I think they do it to me.
By extension, by us. Yeah.
So yeah, I quite like it actually because now we know he's on pens now. We've seen that play out, so we've had that confirmation. So that's nice. I think they'll do really well against Sunderland. I really do. So I quite like it. It's just I feel like I've just got to play safe and go for Salah. Yeah. Because I'm so far behind now. I've got to do something sensible.
And the only way is up until it's not, and maybe we can just keep going further down.
Can't be
question
last,
from I haven't seen this one before. FPL family. Hi everyone. Quick question: Dewsbury Hall due for captain this week?
I hate my husband. Does anyone else hate my husband?
Where's the block button for that?
Can we just? He got him off the bench. I mean, honest to God, he spent all of Saturday telling me, "Oh, you're gonna get so lucky, and Dewsbury Hall's gonna come off your bench." And I was like, "That never happens, Lee. Like that never happens." And then the next day, Dorgu doesn't turn up, or whenever it was, Dorgu's not turning up, and he's then going, "Oh," and at one point he goes, "Oh, maybe I want him to come on for a 1-point cameo because West Ham are going to concede so many if he comes on for a 1-point cameo." Blah blah. And the next day, not only does he keep a clean sheet, he gets an assist. I think he got a bonus point as well. It's like,
some of the players I've seen coming on for Dorgu, and like the only reason these people picked Dorgu was for this week.
I know.
And then he doesn't play. And I've seen like Munoz, I've seen Gahey's coming off people's benches with like 15 points. Like the bloody Diouf. This game is hell. Like it's absolute hell at times. Anyway, I don't know
and then
why.
It's made worse by being trolled by this one.
Yeah.
We can't even do it. We get trolled by him in the WhatsApp group. We're getting trolled by him on our stream now.
Can't get rid of him. Ryan B, a few questions about Xavi Simons and Kolo Muani. I'll leave that one to you. Either of them any good? You got Kudus? You worried about him?
No, I'm not worried about Kudus. I mean, I'm worried about myself for captaining Kudus, but I'm not worried about Kudus. I think Kolo, he's a really interesting player. Like, went out on loan for half a season last year at Juve. Obviously, when that deal collapsed for him to go there again this season, we kind of swooped in, and it seems to be on the back of potentially a bit of an injury to Solanke, although that doesn't appear to be quite as bad now as it first seemed. He's had some injections, apparently. And he's obviously not gone on international duty, so that's quite nice, a couple of weeks rest. He got 8 goals last season in 16 games for Juve, so has some pedigree there. I'm not expecting him to come straight in, though, by any stretch of the imagination. And obviously Champions League kicks off in a couple of weeks' time, so maybe we see a little bit more in and around that. But I think he could be a potentially a nice option. Xavi Simons, I'm really, really intrigued as to how this pans out, because where does he slot into that team? Do we move to, like, is he going to come in and play instead of Papsar? I don't know. Pap's been brilliant. Like, can you really take him out? Do you lose Johnson? I think Johnson's more likely to be the one that sits it out rather than Kudus. But I think we'll have to see. And I do think in that Spurs attack with those positions, I think Kudus is the most nailed on the right side. I think it's the left and obviously then the Papsar kind of position. And maybe Papsar drops into the deeper roles from time to time and plays alongside Bergvall or Bentancur or Polinia. There's so many options now that we will inevitably see some rotation there in that team. Way more than we're used to with a Frank side, because we've got that European football that we're going to also have to contend with as well, and make sure that we don't get injuries, which is what happened last season. So I think both could be interesting. I think Xavi Simons is more likely to be a better FPL option because I think he's more likely to get sustained minutes. Whereas with Colo, I think we'll see more limited minutes and more limited involvement.
Particularly early on as well.
Particularly early on.
Yeah. Colo's a fun one though. I mean, if you get PSG Colo Morning, you're screwed because he's been absolutely useless for them. But the loan moves he's had,
he was good at Juve.
Really well. So yeah, and PSG paid a lot of money for him, didn't they? About like 70 million for him or something like that. So there's clearly a player there. I think everyone judges him obviously on that miss in the World Cup, but I mean that would break me if that had been me. I don't think I'd ever recover from that.
Never, no, you're not coming back.
No, so
a bit like us in these ranks.
It's a shame he won't be playing Martinez in goal again at Villa, as he seems to be dropped for Bizou.
Forever now.
Yeah, but it'd be fun to see that. Maybe we'll stick him in just for that rematch. And maybe you can get a hat-trick in that. Florence has thoughts on Man City assets, except for Haaland. So Reinders been really poor since that was a big old bandwagon after game week 1, and he's blanked twice now. Any concerns with him? Both got Nori. He's been useless after his game week 1.
I know it was against your team, so obviously you're delighted with the result. And I think from a football perspective, I was also delighted with the result because obviously people losing at the top of the league makes it more interesting, right? From an FPL perspective, though, watching Nori be on the team sheet, I was like, yes, okay. I don't have to rely on my Sunderland player to come off the bench. Although at one point, Ronaldo was getting a 6-point haul, and I was thinking, oh my God, my bench is going to have Dewsbury Hall and Ronaldo on it, both like absolutely flying, and then the rest of my team's in the mud. So it's hard though, isn't it? Because I look at Manchester City. I don't know quite what I make of the Donnarumma thing. Like, I don't think he is. It's weird because obviously he's a brilliant goalkeeper, and as a shot stopper, he is incredible. So from that perspective, he looks good, but he's not good with his feet. He's not that play out from the back kind of keeper that Manchester City traditionally like. So we might see a change. Does it make them more defensively solid? Maybe, I don't know. And does he start this week? Well, I guess it's like Isak, isn't it? Like, do you give him a week? He's gone away on international duty, so does he wait? Does he start Trafford in 4 and then go? Although Trafford's away on international duty as well, but at least he's settled in with the team. And then does he play from 5? I guess remains to be seen. So Nori I'm going to hold because I'm hoping that the new signing of the goalkeeper and stuff will improve the situation there. The attackers, though, outside of Haaland, I just don't like any of them. I feel like there's so much risk of rotation. Reinders, you never know where he's going to play. Game week 1, he was really attacking. Game weeks 2 and 3 hasn't been. More defensively minded in those matches. And I think at that price point, we've already had conversations around Harvey Elliott, Dewsbury Hall. So there are other players that are cheaper than Reinders that you could go to that maybe offer you better value for money. You've even got Josh King, who's like uber cheap. So you could drop down and save some money to go elsewhere.
It's the next two, isn't it? The next two are, Manchester United at home, but it's still, that's the kind of game you wouldn't be too surprised if United just won it 1-2-1. Like, they're always pulling weird results like that out of the bag. And then it's Arsenal. So like, if you're wildcard, that's quite a tough 2 games. But then, I mean, it's Burnley, Brentford, Everton. You can't really get a better run in 6 to 8. So I think you want to make sure you've got the right player. You definitely want Haaland, obviously. I'm keeping the faith with Nori. I still think he's all right. He's only really had... If you take out the Spurs game where he got taken off injured, he's had 1 good game at 9 points and 1 poor game against Brighton where he got booked and obviously got 0. But I still think he's going to be right up there this season in terms of overall points. Reinders is a funny one. I'm not losing the faith with him already, but I do agree there's other options that you could go for. The main thing with Reinders is you want to see him playing, and he is. That's what some of us were worried about, right? That he might be a bit out on the team. I think he's already proven that he's a 90-minute man. And his XGI might not be amazing, but he just needs to make a couple of those runs a game and get on the end of something, and he's going to do all right. Oscar Bob looks pretty good at right wing, but he's not the most sexy option, is he?
No, I'm sure Mrs. Bob thinks he is, but... I think it's hard though, isn't it? Because again, you get that rotation minutes risk. I feel like Bob is weirdly the least likely to be rotated in that City attack.
There's no one else that can
play there. Yeah,
no,
exactly. So he, apart from Haaland, he feels like the most locked. Like, in theory, there should be loads of options, shouldn't there? Because you should have the likes of Marmoush and KDB.
Yep.
KDB's left. Marmoush and Foden. And there should be loads of potential players that you can go to at Manchester City. But right now, apart from Haaland, there isn't any of the attackers
Marmoush was the one I wanted, and he's like 8% owned. And his minutes so far are 24 minutes against Wolves, 53 minutes against Spurs, 71 minutes against Brighton. Like you need, for 8.4 million, you need these players to be playing 70 minutes plus a game at least. And it's just not there. So I think you can swerve them. I think you get Haaland and you can swerve them. I completely agree about Donnarumma. It's a weird signing. I don't know. They've got Ortega there, who's done really well when he's been called on. They've got Trafford, who I know he made a mistake against Spurs, but otherwise I thought he's looked all right. Made a great save against us. Made a great save.
They obviously think he's not ready. They must think that he's not ready yet.
Yeah.
Maybe they did think that they were going to get another year out of Edison, and Trafford was going to be a 1 year. Like a year's worth of being around.
I do wonder if James C's right and Pep is he's gone even crazy. I don't think he really knows how to cope with all this. You know, he buys all these players, they go off to the Club World Cup, they don't have a great tournament there. They come back, they have a good win against Wolves, then they lose against Spurs, then they lose against us. It's not been a great start.
It's been terrible.
Given all the money they've spent. So yeah, I think we'll end the stream on that. Pep is even crazy and old, stay well clear. I think that's probably quite a good advice. So it's a bit of a short one today. I've got another call at 5, so I've got to run off. Obviously, we'll be back ahead of Game Week 4 next week with another one of these Q&As. Do get your questions in ahead of time. If you want, do make sure you check out Fantasy Football Scouts. Obviously, great articles being published as always on there. We need 700 more subscribers to hit 100,000 on the channel. So make sure you like and subscribe this video. Like this video and then subscribe to the channel. And yeah, Sam, pleasure as always. No more vomiting for you. And we'll be back next week.
I'll try. I'll behave myself, but I'll still be at 8.6 million by the time you next see me.
Lovely. Yeah, ranks won't have changed, but maybe our optimism for the future will have done. That's great. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Awesome. Bye, guys.